Hello, this is David White from the Sportsman's Emporium, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the types of fishing that are productive and good this time of year. Being late February, a lot of people are starting to get a little bit of cabin fever from the winter, and a lot of people tend to wait till springtime to fish. But you know, right now there's actually a few different types of fishing that are really productive and fish that are being active. And of course, trout fishing during the winter is pretty popular. You know, if you get a warm winter day, a lot of people like to take a road trip down into the Mon National Forest and chase trout. But right here locally, we have some really good fishing going on this time of year, namely walleye and muskie fishing. It's particularly hot up on the Tigert River around Grafton, and also the Mon River is being productive right now. Anywhere below a dam, a locking dam or a tailwater has been producing really good walleye. This really is one of the hottest times of year for walleye fishing. So basically what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about the lures that you would use for muskie and a little bit about walleye. And this right here is your standard bucktail spinner, which would be a muskie lure. And muskie fishing is really good this time of year. In fact, it's good most of the year except for springtime when they spawn. They're not active feeders during the spawn phase. So right now, before the spawn, their activity picks up. So, you know, these cold days, when you think there's, you know, no way a fish could bite when it's 30 degrees out, you know, that's not necessarily true. And if you can brave the weather and stay warm, you can definitely get into some good fishing. Like I say, this is a standard muskie lure. It's a basic bucktail spinner. There's all kinds of different muskie lures, but this is probably one of the more popular types. And you know, you can get these anywhere. You know, we have them here. About any good fishing tackle store will have some bucktail spinners. Bright colors, in particular oranges, greens, and yellows, tend to be the local favorites for muskie. And some guys are using lures all the way up to 15 inches long to catch these fish. So it depends on how big you want to go. Walleye, however, is a little different. You know, it's in particular, people like to use jigs and just kind of bounce them off the bottom and find a nice deep spot and go up and down with your jigs and grubs. This right here is just a little hand-tied jig. It will definitely catch walleye, crappie, bass, bluegill, anything. But another really popular one that I don't have right here is just your basic 3-inch white rubber grub. They're really cheap, you can get them anywhere, and they're really effective for walleye. The guys I've been talking to who have been out catching them are typically having their best luck on white and fluorescent yellow. And they're doing really good. The Grafton tailwaters on the Tigert River is fishing really good right now. I've talked with the fisheries biologists who have been shocking that and doing the stream samples, and they say if you really want to get onto some big walleye, right now is the time to get it. This little jig right here, like I say, this is a little hand-tied jig that's just a good all-around jig for catching walleye, bass, bluegill, and crappie. And this kind of thing would work for you. You know, look for, you know, flood walls, retaining walls, anything like that that extend out into the water, rock outcroppings, undercuts, anywhere where there's some good current in a tailwater, where there's probably some bait fish being pushed through those dams, are very active feeding spots for walleye. And it's funny because muskie tend to like the same areas this time of year because of the bait fish. You know, there's different fish spawning right now, and wherever you're going to find your bait fish is where you'll find your predator fish. You know, temperature doesn't seem to affect the bite frequency of walleye and muskie. So there is some opportunity to get out there and fish this time of year and beat your cabin fever. And if I were you, I would look at sticking local and chasing some walleye and muskie.